And then, I got this nudge by the Holy Spirit, by Mary, like, no, like, I want you to do this, and you're fine. Like, it's okay that you, and it was just this loving, kind, gentle invitation to do it. So I went through it. Awesome. It was me and 80-year-old women with their curls.
Oh, man.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so humiliating. This is so embarrassing. I'm like 19 years old.
I'm glad you can laugh at it now because that's pretty funny.
Okay.
Actually, I feel like high school is what we're made for in this way. We want community. We want to be loved, and we want to be known, and we want to be seen. We want to have food in our bellies, and we want to be together. Came home to the party. My dad says I was white as a ghost. That day was the day I got symptoms of bipolar.
Wow.
That very day, I had that happen to me as a 5-year-old. And so when that happens, you don't have a chance. And he diagnosed me in 5 minutes, and I'm just like, there's got to be something more. That's like
blood work or something,
like,
right?
Can we? I don't know. Like, are we sure?
From me.
Welcome back to the barn again. My name is Jonathan.
And I'm Mike.
And we are here to share extraordinary stories of ordinary people. Because I think, like a lot of the saints, not just of our time, but of old, they were normal people. They were just humans who were working their way through life, getting to know God, and struggling. And it's easy to whitewash all the negative that happens in our lives, the difficulties and those things. But that's the reality, is we all deal with those. And so today we brought on an amazing guest who has a wonderful story. And I'll let Mike tee us up and introduce him.
Sure. So Doug, this is Doug Ramp. And Doug joined us for coffee a number of months ago, and it's been a real pleasure getting to know you. I just can't reiterate enough, and Jonathan, I know you back me up on this, that this small little coffee group in Lincoln is just amazing. It's just amazing, and so we're just blessed to have you today. We heard a little bit of your story. Some of it will probably be pretty new to us because we haven't dived a whole lot into your history, your family, things like that. But you've got a real special story, and I think especially there's kind of been a theme that's been kind of coming up for me anyway with mental illness and different things that are around that, and where does God play a part in that? Like how your faith life is part of that. So I guess we wanted to kind of just talk to you about that a little bit, because I know that you've had some things that you've dealt with that would be classified as mental illness, I would guess, right? So yes. We're going to maybe wade into those waters too. But I guess first of all, thank you for coming. And what are you doing right now? What are you involved with right now?
Yeah, right now, honestly, a big thing in my life. Not unfortunately, but I'm not working right now. I've had a lot of odd jobs, and nothing to really write home about. But right now, honestly, it's the thing that really helps me is daily mass and adoration time, and so that's and honestly, I've been enjoying nature. Me and Jake, we go out like it's like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and you got the stars.
You go for a walk?
It's windy.
That's what Dylan was talking about.
It's windy, and anyway, we go to Pawnee Lake, and we jump in the water, and it's incredible. Honestly, God's nature. So honestly, I've been going to a lot of Pawnee Lake this summer.
That's awesome.
And then tomorrow, me and my friend Jake, we're going to go to Wyoming, up to the mountains, and so
we got to meet Jake at coffee last week. Was it last week? No, 2 weeks ago, I guess now, Friday. But yeah, he's got an amazing story too, and we'll hear that one of these days. I'm sure that'll come up. But if we can nail him down, I mean, I think he's a traveler, right? So but that's really great, and I think starting out with you have a strong Catholic faith, and you mentioned to us just a few minutes ago that you grew up Protestant. Yeah. So what was that like growing up? I mean, can you kind of talk us through some of the early stories of what you went through? And
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was really blessed. My parents, Paul and Arlene, they they baptized me Methodist, and I think baptism was such a huge gift, and you know, and I had some wounds as a child, and at a very early age, I felt I was just really blessed. Like, I knew from like when I was like 5 or 6 that I was very loved by Jesus. Like, I felt it, I knew it, and honestly, I loved going to Sunday school. Probably my favorite part of growing up was Sunday school and vacation Bible study, and I remember when I was like in 4th grade, I saw like the 80s version of Jesus of Nazareth. It was a mini series, and I watched that, and it was going through the movie and the beginning, and they get to Mary's house, and she's behind like I don't know what she's doing. It's like a spindle or something. Anyway, the music was very emotional, and she kind of like rises up from whatever she's doing, and I saw her eyes, and like, I honestly, I'm Protestant, so we don't really talk about Mary, but like when that happened, I had an incredible experience with Mary, and I knew at that very moment that she also loved me very much at that moment.
And as a Protestant, you would believe Mary was in heaven, potentially, correct? Or no?
Yeah,
but not as a saint. You wouldn't talk to her
obviously
as a saint.
we don't talk about saints, or we don't talk about that Mary's in heaven, or we don't really talk about, we didn't really talk about anybody. We don't talk about saints, and we didn't know that she was the Queen of Heaven, or no, we don't really. The only time you talk about Mary is at Christmas, when you see the nativity scene, and that's when you hear about Mary, and that's about it. Yeah.
Wow.
So I look back at that experience, and she was preparing my heart for her eventually someday to get to know her more.
That's pretty neat. I know, because you're a musician too, right, Doug?
Yep.
And what instrument or instruments do you play?
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm a drummer, djembe player, and I feel so blessed. My dad was a music teacher for 42 years.
Oh, wow.
And he taught all of us siblings. I have a brother and a sister, and it was so cool. Honestly, a lot of people say, "Oh, my dad was my band director," so no, but we didn't have any problems. We had a blast.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I just did he do any worship leading in the church then too?
My dad, they always took us to church, and we would sing as a family, and then also my dad, he's done several programs in churches where he'll play music, but then he'll share his story. My dad always likes to say that he's the doubting Thomas, like he's had trouble believing in Jesus, but he has no problem believing in Jesus, because with all his love and all his actions and all his sacrifice, like he's basically like, he is a saint, and he knows Jesus very well by how much he loves us.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I just think as a musician, an artist, and you create, like, the person that created that series that you watched, like, something in that scene where they had Mary rise up, it touched you.
Yeah.
Someone's art touched you, and I think what a gift you have, and actually all of us are musicians, but we all have to share that gift with other people, because it can affect hearts, and I think that's pretty beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway.
And I was going to say, to your point, I think a lot of people are maybe afraid of expressing their creativity, and then those moments never happen because they never walk down that road out of fear or out of worry of judgment or whatever. So
yeah, and
how
imagine
powerful
the
that is.
producer of that show watching the Barn Again podcast, because I'm sure they do, and realizing 40 years later that something they did had an effect on someone's
Yeah.
conversion in their faith. Like,
Yeah.
that decision to put that show on and to have that scene in there affected somebody. We always say like, if it can affect just one person, well, it did.
Yeah.
That's
right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of battles too with when you're trying to produce something that's Christian or Catholic, and you get it out there and you're like probably not happy with it, or I wish we would just pull it down, but that scene just stuck with you. And that, how old were you when that happened?
I was 7 or 8.
So
yeah.
I mean, even to this day, that's still a profound
And
image.
I've watched that. I think every year around Christmas time, I'll watch it. I've seen it
That's great.
40 times maybe.
Oh, that's great.
So do you have a devotion to Our Lady then?
Yeah, I went to Madonna House. It's a Catholic community in Canada. It's my spiritual home. Catherine Doherty was the founder of it, and it's an amazing place where they pray and they work and they have a farm and they have houses all over the world to help people. And during that time, for my stay there, I read 33 Days to Morning Glory by Father Michael Gately, and I consecrated myself to Mary there.
Yeah.
And and it's something that, it's one of those things that you forget that you gave your life to Mary.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she'll show up and remind you that, hey, you're mine.
Yeah.
And I actually feel really blessed that the new Newman Center at, well, it's been 10 years now, but yeah, they have a chapel just with Mary. And yeah, I go there all the time. And what's really cool is that, like, it's not just, I feel connected. I start talking to her right away. Like, and just like, and it was really cool. Like, I had this contemplation one time, and it's that, like, in heaven, like, I really hope to meet Mary and maybe like just hang out, have breakfast, and I want her to tell me about Jesus when he was 13 or something.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I want to hear all the stories. So anyway,
when you say, like, for people that maybe aren't familiar, like when you consecrate yourself to Mary or to Jesus, I mean, there's different St. Joseph's consecration.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. Honestly, it's just you read a meditation each day, and you reflect on it and pray about it, and then it doesn't really look like much, to be honest. It's really simple, actually.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because I think when I was going into it, I've done that as well, and the one piece of apprehension I had was, well, I want to make sure that I take this seriously. Like, this it's like a promise. Like, I'm promising to kind of let you almost choose my will in a way for me. But I think what I've come to realize that it's not like you're giving or you're becoming a slave or anything. It's really, she's basically flipping on all your switches, and you're like fully alive, and you have like all of these things where she's just bringing, different opportunities into your availability of what you can do, and it's really like it was such a powerful thing for me as well. And but I just wanted to. I think there's some people that maybe don't know what that looks like or what it is.
And so, what's really cool when you consecrate yourself to Mary, I mean, it's not about Mary. Like, you let her intercede for you, and she goes directly to Jesus on your behalf. Mm-hmm. And she just wants, as we all know, she just wants to give us more Jesus. Yeah. And actually, I stumbled, and I actually almost didn't go through with it because you miss a couple readings, and you're like, oh, I guess I can't do this. I guess I'm not. And I on the day of the consecration, I don't think I was like, it's probably not going to count. Like, I missed I missed a couple readings, and I don't know I was like you, like, I'm not going to take it serious. So I'm not going to do it. And then, I got this nudge by the Holy Spirit, by Mary, like, no, like, I want you to do this, and you're fine. Like, it's okay that you, and it was just this loving, kind, gentle invitation to do it. So I went through it.
Oh, awesome. And you can renew it every year. I think people renew.
You know what? Actually, it's really cool. Now I have it on my table, and I say it just about every day in the morning.
Oh, that's great.
Actually, that's how I start my day.
Yeah, so I did mine back in my early 20s, and I don't want to say fell away from Mary, but like I just didn't have a strong pull toward her, say in my 30s, almost to the point where I didn't really want to pray the rosary, and I felt guilty about it. But a friend pointed out to me, he said, like, you may have waned in your devotion to Mary, but she doesn't wane in her devotion to you. And there was something consoling in that until it was a few years ago during Lent. I felt drawn to pray the rosary every day as part of my Lenten, not the sacrifice, but the adding some prayer. And it was just a real neat time for me to connect with her, because like even God in the person of Jesus subjected himself to Mary. Like he entrusted his will to his mom to introduce Jesus to the Father and to bring him up in the faith. And so if God can subject himself to Mary, we can do the same, because she's only going to point us back to God.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like thinking too about at the cross when, Jesus said, behold your mother, with John, the apostle. Well, he's saying like, she's your mom, and not like, not try to like get your head around it. No, she's your mom now. So like, she will protect you whether or not you wane from her or not. She's your mom. So it's a pretty comforting.
There were only 3 words: behold your mother. It was like, that's it. Yeah. It's that simple.
Yeah. Don't
overcomplicate. I'm good at overcomplicating, but don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, do you want to go back, kind of like talk a little bit, like you talked about your dad?
Yeah.
And it sounds like you guys grew up in a really loving home with music, which would kind of steers you to what you're doing a little bit today. I know you've involved in theater and stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe talk a little bit more about what was going on back when you were young.
Yeah, it was really cool. We did, I was banging on pots and pans at a young age, and we did sing in church together, and all of us played an instrument. And I shouldn't tell this story, but it's really, I love it, and it's the way God works, and it's beautiful. My dad graduated in 1968 from UNL, and in 1969 he went to Cook, Nebraska, and it was his first teaching job ever. And he taught this senior girl named Arlene Doden.
I see where this is going.
And 2 or 3 later, just for everyone's information, they did not date in high school. It was 3 years afterwards. They ran into each other and they got married. So I just love that all my siblings and my mom were taught by my dad in band.
That's
Oh
great.
my gosh.
I love it.
Oh, that's great.
It's pure joy for me.
So your mom was from Cook, Nebraska?
Yeah, she was a trombone player. So I was trombone, Brad was tuba, Emily was flute, and I was the drummer. So, and and like I said, I loved going to Sunday school, and we did move a lot, and we moved about 4 or 5 times, and that was okay. And but what else did I want to say about my younger days? We lived in Blair, Nebraska for 2nd grade through 7th grade. And honestly, that was my favorite childhood memories. That's where I really connected with my brother Brad. He's about 5 years younger, but we were still close, And we lived where our backyard and all the 2 houses down had just backyards, no trees or anything. So we had a football field, we had a soccer field, we had a baseball field, and honestly and we played basketball like every day. When we came home from school, we maybe had supper for 5 minutes and then we were back outside, and we played baseball and soccer and basketball and football. We played that until the sun went down.
Yeah.
And I bring up this story because it's such a big, it's a huge deal in formation.
Yeah.
To get outside and play sports with your friends outside. And I think we missed the mark on that these days.
Does shooting your friends with BB guns, does that count as a sport? Because we did that. We got in so much trouble.
No,
I'm not recommending that at all. Please don't do that at all.
That definitely, that's awesome. That counts for sure. So yeah, it was a huge blessing, and so
Different time, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I
for
remember
sure.
we did the same thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's yards kind of backed up, and it was, soccer one day,
Yeah.
football, and
Yeah.
what a blessing.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I know you've been really a big advocate for like mental health and things like that, and I know you've shared some stories with us, but you had talked about dealing with being potentially bipolar, and when did that occur?
Yeah,
Or did that diagnosis occur?
for sure. I want to talk a little bit about my high school days.
Oh, perfect.
And then I'm gonna
Yeah.
It happens about after high school.
Okay.
So, yeah. Like I said, I had some childhood wounds. I didn't have the best. I don't think I was very confident in myself. I didn't have the best image of myself. And then freshman year, I tried out for the musical for Pirates of Penzance, and I was a pirate, and all of a sudden a whole new world showed up, and I was on fire for it. I loved it, and
Wow. Where were you at? Where were you living at? This
yeah,
time?
I was at this time my 8th grade year we moved to Friend, Nebraska.
Okay.
So yeah. So, and so yeah, and it was just, I think high school was like, it was a gift from God for me. It really was, because unfortunately a lot of people say, oh, I don't get along, I get bullied, or I can't wait to get out of here to go to college. I can't wait to get out of here. I didn't get the memo that it was going to end.
Really?
I never, that never crossed my mind.
Wow.
Honestly, in a real way, it never crossed my mind. It was so incredible. I had amazing, I feel like high school is what we're made for in this way. We want community. We want to be loved, and we want to be known, and we want to be seen. We want to have food in our bellies, and we want to be together. And that's what it was. And I was in all 4 school plays, and loved every one of them. My senior year we did Our Town, and that was such a beautiful play, and it was really cool. My senior year we did the one act for the contest for the play. We did the Emperor's New Clothes, and I got the lead role as the Emperor, and it was so cool. I took it really serious, and I actually, like, before one of the practices, I actually kind of stood up and I said, hey, I think we're really good, and I think we can do something really special this year.
Wow.
And they kind of got on board. And friend had never placed in the top 10, never placed ever. And that day at District 1 Act we beat 17 schools and got first place.
Wow.
And I was the outstanding actor of the district.
Wow.
So
Seriously.
it was
Good for you.
it was the most, it was really joyful.
Wow.
It was just, you worked really hard, and it was so joyful, and I was on top of the world my senior year, like going to state in one act, it was so cool to get the main acting award. So and then graduation came, and it was wild. I cried basically through all of graduation. I didn't know I was gonna cry. I was devastated.
Yeah, shoot, man.
Yeah.
Were there any people, like friends or teachers, that were really instrumental in like helping make that such a great experience for you, the high school
Yeah,
experience?
well, obviously my dad. We did a lot of great marching band experiences. We got to go to it's called the Nebraska Bandmasters. It's kind of like the best of the best of the bands get to go, and we got to go twice and perform at not by the Kimball Hall.
Oh.
And Mrs. Gotro, God bless her soul, she's in heaven now, but like she saw something in me, and it was, and she gave me the lead role for The Emperor's New Clothes. And I want to mention, and this is a huge one, Greg Holdren. He was our art teacher, and he was the director of all the musicals, and he always knew which role to give me that I was going to shine. He knew which one, and he was so gentle and kind. And like one time I said a line, and I thought I was supposed to be angry, so I kind of got angry about it. He's like, "No, you're just supposed to be really gentle and really kind and compassionate here." So it was so cool. Like I said a line to my son in a play, and I just did it really peaceful and calm and with a lot of love.
Wow.
And it was so cool how he told me that.
Yeah.
And honestly, his family, I became best friends with his son Alan Holdren. And on Friday nights we'd go over to the Holdrens. They were a Catholic family, and they had 6 kids in the family. And we would play cards. They had a ping pong table. They made a wooden net. They made their own net. They made their own paddles, and we would play ping pong until midnight.
Pre-Amazon.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, this is...
Yeah, and we
I love it.
would play darts, and that was really healing for me too. To just
And you weren't Catholic at the time.
Not at all. No, didn't even.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that example of just like, just simple. You know, they were really simple people. You know, he was an art teacher and she was a substitute teacher, and it really had an effect on me that, like, they don't have much money, but there's a lot of love here, and just like games and family. So yeah, and Alan and I had a blast, and we did get into some trouble, and we didn't get caught, so we did a lot of
So
friend of friends.
who's Alan?
Okay, so Alan's Greg's son. He's
Okay,
part of the Holdren
okay.
family.
Is Ben?
Yeah, and actually, yes, it is Father Holdren's
Okay, I
brother.
wondered. Okay.
And yeah, it was so cool to know. It's so cool to see their journey to Jesus, because we're in high school, we're young and stupid and all that, and then so it's really cool. Father Holdren went to Rockstar, to the holiest priest I know. So he's my friend and spiritual director, and I'm eternally grateful for him. And so, anyway, after that day, I came home to the party. My dad says I was white as a ghost. It turned in. I think that day was the day I got symptoms of bipolar.
Wow.
That very day, because I went from crying the whole ceremony to extreme anxiety. Like I didn't want to talk to anybody at the party. It was a nice party. I had fun. I put on the smile and had a lot of fun, of course. But I was white as a ghost. And my dad said he's never seen me so scared. So and in that summer, I wanted to go to Doane College to pursue theater, because that's what everybody was telling me to do, and because I got a lot of awards for it. But they because of my grades, they told me to go to Beatrice. So, and to a community college. So I did a theater program there, but the summer was really crazy because it turned out it's really wild when you have bipolar and you don't know it. You have all this mania and depression, and you have no clue what's going on, and I got 6 speeding tickets in 2 months.
Wow.
I was going 100 miles per hour, and I didn't even know it. You know, it's just wild. And so it was a wild summer, and praise God, like somehow I got through that. It just wasn't good. I was staying up. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't staying up late, and it was so I finally, fall comes, and I go to Beatrice, and it started out okay. It wasn't that a good of experience. I was either really manic, like talking all the time in class and answering all the questions, had all tons of energy, and then all of a sudden the depression came, and that's when you can't even get out. You can't even get out of bed. You can't even get to class. You can't get out of bed, and so after 6 weeks, I dropped out of college, and my mom had to come get me. She was really sad because I think she kind of knew, like, this is a big, like, you know, are you sure you want to leave? Like, this is kind of a big decision. Mm-hmm. It's a big point in my life, you know, for my future, you know. And it was a really sad drive home because I knew I could tell she was sad I was leaving college, and I came back to Friend, and yes, I was depressed and I was anxious and manic. Both were happening a little bit, and but unfortunately, I also knew why I was depressed. Unfortunately, it was crazy. All throughout high school, didn't have bipolar. I didn't really suffer that much, and then all of a sudden when I left home, all the memories of some childhood wounds, they just flooded me.
Whoa. Okay.
They just flooded me, and they I don't call it demonic, call it like the trauma, like the body keeps the score, it doesn't forget. And for some reason, it just flooded me, and it hit me really hard. And so, honestly, for about a month, I just kind of stayed. I stayed in my room. I didn't say anything for about a month. I really didn't talk. Just barely talked. And I would eat, and that was it. And yeah, it was a really sad month. I was really depressed. And then all of a sudden, one day, about a month later, you start feeling good, you know? Like, you're like, oh, I guess and at this time, still, I'm not diagnosed. I still have no clue. I've never experienced mental health with anybody, so I don't know what's going on.
Right. You're just sad because you left high school.
I'm sad because I left high school. I'm sad because all those memories are coming back to me, and I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And
oh man.
And actually, there was one night. I was walking in Friend, and like, get a drink of water.
Yeah, we're good, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not gonna get too personal here, but they were sexual wounds when I was 5. You know, I had that happen to me as a 5-year-old, and so when that happens, you don't have a chance at being pure, and you get really wounded. And yeah, it's okay. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. And but you know, and so throughout high school and through my childhood, like, just I didn't have a chance to be pure, and I struggled a lot with sexual sin, and I was walking and I had a lot of guilt from that. And I was walking, and one day I just leaned down to Jesus. I just bawled my eyes out. I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, so sorry. Yeah. And that was a really cool moment, actually. That was a cool moment because I felt his love.
Just a very vulnerable prayer of
and his forgiveness,
where my heart was at.
Yeah. And so that was good. And what was I gonna say? Anyway, that was a big moment for me for forgiveness. Anyway, eventually I was feeling better, and I thought I'm okay. I moved in with a friend in Lincoln, went to Southeast. Turned out that was the start of mania. And unfortunately, mania is really hard because, like, with mania, it's hypersexuality. It's just like it's really intense, and I kind of lost it and just fell into a lot of sexual sin, and I was, I wasn't Catholic at the time, but I loved Jesus and I loved my Protestant faith, and I knew that, like, this isn't good. And so I finally realized one day, like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I know that there's something wrong with my brain. So I went to my mom and I said, hey, look, this is what I've been doing. There's something wrong with my brain. We should probably go to a doctor.
That sounds like a very courageous moment, Doug. Yeah. I mean, to be able to recognize it in yourself and then to tell another person, not just another person, but your mom. That's a very intimate, vulnerable place to be.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. And so we went to the doctor, and it was really wild. Like, I talked to him for 5 minutes, and he diagnosed me bipolar.
Is this a general practitioner or?
No, it was like a psychiatrist and meds, all that. Yeah. Like, and he diagnosed me in 5 minutes, and I'm just like, there's got to be something more.
Some like, blood work or something.
Like, can we? I don't know. Like, are we sure? And like, can we get any other kind of assistance? But they basically just put me on meds and sent me home.
5 minutes later.
And they said you need to go to group counseling in Lincoln. So, and that was it. And honestly, like, so that was really kind of a bad experience because I wasn't really seen. It was a really huge moment for me to, like, say, hey, I'm struggling, and to only get like 5 or 10 minutes and I'm out of there. It was really not good.
18, 19?
Yeah. I'm 19 years old at this point. And so anyway, and unfortunately, they over-medicated me too, and I blew up in weight in 6 weeks. And so my body image has always been a big wound for me because I've always been really athletic and good at sports, but the medication made me gain so much weight, and I was So anyway, I came back home to a friend, and because of the 6 speeding tickets, I didn't have a license anymore. So I lost my license. And so it was really, to get to the group therapy, there would be this I don't know, like some type of like community van, government van would give me a ride to the group therapy. And honestly, I just cried the whole time. I wasn't able to help anybody. I wasn't able to help myself. And group therapy, that was a stupid idea because I needed one-on-one.
Individual. Yeah.
I did not need to deal with other people's problems at that point.
Yeah.
And so, and honestly, at this time, I can joke about it now, but like, it was really humiliating. What would give me a ride home was a bus with 80-year-old ladies getting their hair done in Lincoln. They were getting their hair. It was me and 80-year-old women with their curls.
Oh, man.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so humiliating. This is so embarrassing. I'm like 19 years old.
I'm glad you can laugh at it now because that's pretty funny.
So yeah. Anyway, that happened for a couple months. And so yeah, so around Christmas time, the sadness and the silence and all that, the grieving process. I was on top of the world just 1 year ago. Mm-hmm. 1 year ago, I was the outstanding actor going to college. Then all of a sudden, I lost everything. I lost my friends. I lost the chance to go to college. I blew up, and now I feel like I'm this overweight person that doesn't look very good, not attractive, and at a young age that matters at a young age, and so yeah, and this is December 24th. It was, yeah, because I held everything in from my past. Never talked about it. Always held it in. Did my best, and then one night it all exploded. It all exploded.
Were your parents aware of what had happened when you were 5?
They were aware, yeah.
Okay. So they knew. Okay.
So yeah, and I started asking, like, I just asked the simple question, like, why did this happen to me? Yeah. So, and then, that question turned into rage, and I started throwing things and breaking things, and and my mom, obviously she got scared, and she'd never been in this position. My poor mother, she didn't know what to do, and it was becoming dangerous because I was getting extremely angry. I had lost all control at that point, actually.
Wow.
So she did call up the cops, and they had to come get me, and he was a really nice guy, and so on Christmas Eve, I was in the back of a cop car going to the crisis center, and it was obviously that was a really hard moment, and I was bawling my eyes out the whole night, and I was on suicide watch. Every 5 minutes they'd come in and check if I was still around, and a really beautiful thing happened that night. That was like God brings good out of everything.
Yeah, that's an amazing just to reiterate what you said, just to get to the point where you're on the top of your, you have everything going for you, and then something just triggered it, and then everything around you started to crumble, and it's just an amazing thing that just happened. And I guess I don't know, like, are you able to pinpoint, like, what was it about the graduation? Was it because you were losing all of that?
Yeah,
I mean,
honestly, I think I was losing my identity. I was a drummer. I was an actor. I was a friend. I was.
Yeah.
For whatever, like I said, I didn't get the memo. I didn't prepare myself. Like, I'm one of those guys, like, in the moment, get after it.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
It never really came to my mind. I'm not very good at planning the future.
It was a surprise.
It was, it just really hit me. And then, so I think that's what triggered it. It felt like I was losing my identity, and I didn't know what was about to happen. I didn't know. I was just really scared about the future too then.
Yeah.
Just kind of felt like I was losing everything. So So anyway, the beautiful thing that happened that night when I was in the crisis center on Christmas Eve, I like to say, at Christmas, it kind of gets superficial, like we have presents and we have friends and family and we have really nice meals and sometimes that's all good and it's beautiful, but it's not always about Jesus when you're doing those things. And that night I had a radio. That's all I had. I had a radio with 2 little earbuds, and I was going through the stations, and I happened to come on this Christian station, and right when I turned to it, they told me the entire nativities. They told me the entire Christmas story from the Bible, and maybe that was the first Christmas that I only had Jesus.
Wow.
That was it. Wow. And he was with me.
Wow.
So,
Gosh, that's beautiful, Doug.
yeah.
What a difficult time in your heart and in your life, but even when Mary shared herself with you at 5, Christ came to you in that moment.
Yeah.
It's easy to think where are you, God? But he showed up in a very profound way for you in that almost prison cell, if you will, that day.
That's true. Yeah. That's really true because I didn't do anything wrong. I was just saying, "Hey, I need counseling." Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you're in a cop car. You really do feel like a criminal. Like, "Oh, I did something wrong."
Yeah.
The cops are here, and so yeah, I want to give a shout out to my mom and dad because they're incredible. They've sacrificed a lot. But the next day, Mom brought me her sugar cookies, and they were the best, and that made everything better.
Yeah.
They were the best.
Good Mom.
So that was great. So, but yeah, they had some conversations with the staff, and I wasn't involved in these conversations. But the very next after a couple days, I was sent to the regional center in Lincoln, and yes, I did need to get regulated on meds, and that was important. But I was there for 4 months, and man, and you're locked up. I lost my freedom, and I'm about maybe 20 years old at this point, and and so it was really difficult. And the staff would ask me are you okay? Why are you so sad? And I'm like, I said to him, we're not at Disneyland right now.
Yeah, you get to go home.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
So yeah, the staff, God bless the people at the regional center, but the staff was telling me things like, try to get a part-time job, and that's about all you can really handle. And I'm like, what? I'm not gonna accept that, Yeah. And so it was just really difficult. I will say a grace that came from that time was that I went to the Protestant service on Sundays, and then out of the blue, a priest came. They said that they asked me if I wanted to go to mass because a priest was there, and I'm like, yeah, let's go to mass. I need whatever I need Jesus. Yeah. So I actually did. I knew nothing about Catholicism, but I knew it was spiritual, and I knew it was Jesus. And I'm like, I need that comfort. So I went to mass during the regional center times. So once again, Jesus was there with me. So after that time, they sent me to Prescott Place in Lincoln. It was a group home, and So, and unfortunately, it was a lot of older people that were over medicated, and they were just, God bless them, but they were kind of, I don't know what the word is, but they weren't alive. Mm-hmm. The medication had just dulled. They were numb. Mm-hmm. Not much conversation going on. Not much. Just this really sad place, and I was going to sleep every night, just like really still mad, like, what am I doing here? I don't have a license. I'm 20 years old, all my friends. And so, yeah, it was really hard. And, and like I said, I lost all my friends. They're young. They don't know how to respond to something like this, And so I'm sitting there. One day, somebody comes to get me, and it's incredible how God works, because all of a sudden, after like 6 months or 7 months, all of a sudden, my best friend from high school shows up. Hey, there's this guy named Alan here. And I'm like, Alan Holdren? And I'm like, what? Like, all of a sudden he just showed up. And he's my angel. Wow. He just showed up. And he, like, a lot of weeknights, I remember we would go to Duffy's, and we would see one of my Little Kylie. We would see these amazing concerts together. He would take me to my favorite movies. He took me where I was at, and he gave me life again. And he would take me out to dinner, and I just want to, before I go on, I want to say, there's a mental health epidemic going on. And if we know someone that struggles with mental health, it doesn't take much to help out. Like, it doesn't take. All he did was take me to a movie and dinner and a concert. He didn't say much. He actually, a lot of the time when I was sad in the car, he would just tell a lot of jokes to me and share his joy with me. So, I really encourage everyone out there, like, if you know someone going through a hard time, they just need your time. They don't need anything extravagant. So I'm so blessed that the Holy Spirit and God said, the Holy Spirit told Alan, like, get to Prescott.
Yeah, you don't need to be an equipped psychologist or somebody to, like, come and, have a conversation. It's like, I just need somebody that wants to know me and talk to me. Right?
Somebody that cares.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the most important thing Alan did for me was he would take me on Thursday nights. He would take me to the Newman Center, and he took me to community night at the Catholic Church, the Newman Center. And and I remember the night I went there, I was full of anxiety and full of depression, not doing well. And and I, at this point, I still don't have the knowledge that Jesus is present in the Eucharist. I do not have that knowledge yet. And I walked into the church, and it was instant. Like, I just felt my whole body, like, it was crazy. Like, my brain was rewiring.
Wow.
I could feel my brain just like,
just by being in his presence.
It was instant. It wasn't even like a second. It was a 0.5 seconds. Just feeling his love. And so, it was incredible. That whole hour of Mass, all my depression, all my anxiety went away. And it was so peaceful and so much love. Sorry for the cheers, but so much love. And like, I still didn't understand everything or know anything, but I knew at that very moment someone was there. And of course
And he knew you.
that was yeah, he knew, and that was Jesus, and he knew me. Yeah. Honestly, he consoled me through that entire Mass. And so it was really cool. And so the next couple weeks, maybe a month later, I got to go on the Koinonia retreat, and it was really cool. It's a really amazing retreat in college that people give their testimonies, and you have small groups, and you eat, and you just pray and love Jesus. And for the very first time, it was out in Waverly, and for the very first time, I had my first adoration hour. And yeah, there it was again. It was, man, I was sitting there, and I was just feeling his love and his presence and his peace. And then the very first time I heard God, the very first time, like, and it kind of, in my heart, it was a little bit audible, but it was mostly in my mind and heart. And he's like, man, I'm so sorry, Doug. I'm so sorry this happened. And he said, I love you.
I'm stuck.
And okay, you're stuck.
You're trying to get you some Kleenexes.
Oh,
Well, we're in the barn, so we don't have Kleenexes, Doug.
yeah.
Next best thing we got is paper towels.
That's cool. Thanks.
We have a hide. We have a raccoon hide back
That's
here.
awesome. So, yeah, Jesus told me right there, and it was the first time I'd ever heard from him. He said, I love you, Doug, and I'm sorry this happened, and I have a plan for your life. And right when I heard that, I had never experienced that before. I got up right away, and I went to the back, and I was like, I need to talk to a priest. And I told him exactly what I just experienced, and I'm like, what is going on here? And that was the very first time that a priest told me, like, well, Jesus is truly blood, body, divinity. He's truly present in the Eucharist, and that's him. And that was the moment I knew I was gonna be all in for Jesus and the Catholic Church.
Wow.
Cause yeah, like, adoration is, Mass is beautiful, and the Eucharist is incredible, and it's obviously the Eucharist is a medicine. The church is a hospital for sinners, and but I really want to encourage people today, like, I think more than Mass, get to Mass every day or Sundays, but, like, man, take time in adoration with Jesus. Like, he rewired my brain. He healed me in many ways. And I just felt so much love, and I want to encourage people too with adoration. Like, if you know a person going through, like, a hard time or mental health, especially with people that are struggling with mental health, yes, take your meds, go to your doctor, exercise, eat better. That's all really important. But Jesus is the divine physician, and in adoration, you will experience healing. And to this day, every time I go to adoration, it still happens. My brain continues to rewire. And honestly, in adoration, yeah, he took away all the memories. All those memories that flooded me, I don't remember them. They're gone.
Wow.
And so the power, the love of Jesus in adoration, I think it might have been St. Francis that gave it to us. Oh, thank you, St. Francis. And I want to encourage more parishes to have adoration. I'm grateful for Cathedral and of course the Pink Sisters for their devotion to the Eucharist, and we can always go there to be with Jesus. So yeah, when I made the decision to join the church, it wasn't because I read a book. It wasn't because someone told me something. It was because Jesus said he loved me in adoration. And that was it. It was only because I sat there. So if anybody's going through a hard time, and I want to encourage anybody who's listening that's not Catholic, you do not have to be Catholic to go to adoration. You can go sit there and be with Jesus, and he will love you right where you're at. And I think as Catholics, we need to encourage that. And I know a lot of people might have struggles or problems with the Catholic Church, and Mass might be a little much, but like, hey, go sit with Jesus for 15 minutes. See what happens. See what happens.
I think it's beautiful, those doggone Holdrens. I love them to death. But like, Christ resides in each of us as baptized Christians, and Alan, being a temple of the Holy Spirit and a tabernacle of Jesus, brought Jesus to you. He visited you when you were in prison. And then he brought you back to the physical Jesus in the church. And there's something really beautiful about that. Like, that's, once we've received that, then we can give that to other people.
Yeah.
So, and it sounds like you're doing the same thing. You're inviting people, not like you don't preach at people, but you're saying, here's what I experienced. Give it a try and see what Jesus can do for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. That's yeah, for sure.
How did it go with when you had this experience with adoration, and you're talking about the Catholic Church now?
Yeah.
Where are your mom and dad at with all of that?
Yeah,
Are they on board, or?
Yeah, my mom and dad are amazing. A lot of people, a lot of converts have problems with their families, but no, they my mom and dad, we just want you to know Jesus.
Yeah.
We want you to go to church.
Yeah.
And if this is your path, we're 100% on board. And yeah, it was really beautiful. So I went to a Focus conference in 2004 in Denver. This was about the year I was going to be joining the church. And it was so beautiful. Focus, it was really early with Focus, so there wasn't there wasn't 10,000 people there. There was a couple hundred of us, and it was really beautiful. And we got to see the Passion a month before it came out. It wasn't even out. Wow. And what was really cool, they didn't have the music ready for the film, like the background music. We saw the whole film with no music.
Really?
And honestly, without music, it's so real. It's just wow. It's just Jesus on the cross, and yeah, it was more real than ever because of no music. And honestly, when Jesus, at the end of the movie, when Jesus walks out of the tomb, that whole place, 200 of us, nobody moved. They were kneeling, people were crying, or they were silent. And nobody moved for an hour. It was an hour of silence. We weren't even in adoration. We were just, it was so moving, and it was so incredible. We couldn't even move. Like, we had to worship God and just be with him.
Wow.
So I walked out after that hour. We all left. I saw a homeless man singing "God Bless America." And I'm like, sir, you're right. God does bless us. And I gave him a couple bucks, and I'm like, I think I'm going to join the Catholic Church.
That's cool.
Wow.
So I told I told the homeless man the first time, I think I'm going to join the Catholic Church. So And it was incredible. You know, that experience that I had with the Holdrens in high school, me and Greg, like, and like, you know, they all showed up. They had dinner with my family and me. They gave me a really nice dinner. And the night of it was the Easter Vigil in 2004. And of course, it was so beautiful going through RCIA. I have a lot of great friends still from there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Alan was my sponsor. And yeah, and then, you know, it was really cool at the time. I was still kind of in the group home during this time. And there was Seventh-day Adventist college was across the street. And so I'm like, whatever, it's a college. I just want to go to college. It's across the street, so I can get there.
Yeah. You don't need a license.
Yeah. So I went and signed up for courses for a semester. And I told a beautiful lady, she's a mate. I won't say her last name, but Debbie, she's an incredible woman of faith, actually. And yeah, I was about to become Catholic, and I told her, like, yeah, I was kind of scared to tell her, you know, because Seventh-day Adventists, they don't really agree with Catholics, and they do have a beautiful devotion to Saturday. Yeah, they're beautiful people, but they don't quite understand Catholicism. And I told her, and she was like, "Oh, Doug, I'm so excited for you. And I'm gonna go buy a saint book, and I'm gonna help you pick out your confirmation saint."
What? Wow.
And so we did. So she kind of knows my story, and we went through the saint book, and we went across Saint Chad. He's like a bishop from the 16th. He's patron saint of peace and humility. And so Saint Chad, he was just a simple monk, and they asked him to be a bishop, and he didn't want to, but he did it out of obedience. But eventually he just went back to a simple monk life and gave a lot of hope and wisdom and joy to other people. So that was it. That was my confirmation saint. And at the Easter Vigil, I got to tell one more story about before the Easter Vigil. I want to tell one more story about the Adventist college. I was taking a religious course because I was just into religion at the time, and I was supposed to give a talk on the Sabbath. So
for your class,
for my class, yeah, we were all supposed to give a talk about Saturday Sabbath. And the entire talk, I said the entire talk I told them why to go to church on Sunday. And honestly, it was so cool. Wow. The kids like, well, this is crazy. This is odd. They thought I was like kind of a badass. Like I'm like, this guy's really cool. Like he's really speaking with conviction. Wow. I think I might have got them thinking. And honestly, yeah, the next day, the teacher brought all these articles on why I was wrong. So I probably got a D for the speech. But honestly, it was really Holy Spirit, and the kids loved it actually. Yeah, so that was cool. So so that's kind of fun. But yeah, so anyway, they got to me, and they said, "Who's my saint?" And I'm like, I just yelled. Everybody was like, "Saint Mary, Saint Peter," and they got to me, "Saint Chad." And I just yelled it out. The whole it just echoed. Yeah. I just yelled it, and it was so beautiful. Father, I'm so grateful for Father Mattia and Father Kane. Father Mattia gave me my very first Eucharist. He gave me Jesus himself, and that was such a joyful moment to receive him, to be one with Jesus. Wow. And a lot of joy. A lot of peace. So, Yeah, and it was so cool. Father Holdren was a seminarian at the time. He was supposed to serve somewhere else, but he asked permission. He served at my mass.
Wow.
So yeah, really really grateful. It was a beautiful moment, a beautiful night. And yes, my mom and dad were there. My brother was there, and it was a great night. And honestly, my parents, I'm actually the one that needs to call. When you're on fire Catholic, you want everybody to know about it. So I was kind of like, hey, you guys should come join with me too.
Yeah.
You should come join me. But honestly, they are so holy, and yes, if for some reason they become Catholic, that will be wonderful. But if they don't, like, they laid the groundwork.
Yeah.
Being Methodist was, I know we have our differences, and some people say we might be separated, but honestly, anything that's good, true, and beautiful, even if it's like Buddhist or Hindu, my friend Jake always tells me, like, if it's good, beautiful, and true, it's Catholic. It's Catholic. It's universal. It's universal. And so I'm so grateful that I experienced the love of Jesus in my Methodist upbringing, and I'm so grateful for Sunday school, and so I'm really great. And so I know I don't need them to be Catholic, because they're very holy. And my brother is a worship director at his church, and my mom and dad are very devoted to their church. They go to Bible. My mom leads a Bible study, and my sister has a wonderful family that goes to church, and so we are so blessed that, honestly, and I want to say this, baptism is real. Like, it's a grace, and I know some people say, like, wait until they're 14 or 15, they can make their own decision, but that's kind of missing the point of baptism, actually, because when you're baptized, it's not really the day you're choosing to follow Jesus. What baptism is that he's taking away. Baptism is the grace with the water and the blessing from the pastor. It's taking away original sin. You are being purified.
Wait.
There's a weight. When you're a baby, you're not a sinner, but you have stress, you have emotions, you have tears, and you can have temperaments that aren't very. And what I say is, that's baptism for a baby. It is extremely good for their physical being, their mental health being, and it gives them the grace. When they're old enough, it's going to give them the grace to choose Jesus. And without that, it's going to be a more difficult road, I think. And anybody that's not baptized, like, I really encourage it, and if you haven't yet, it's a real beautiful gift. It's real freedom. So, yeah, I really encourage that. Kind of the next thing I want to. Is there anything?
I'm sort of just blown away. I feel like
just taking it in.
You guys aren't here with Doug, and we've seen him at coffee and stuff, but he's just like, he's so genuine. You're so genuine and loving, and your heart is so big, and you just want to hug you. I think that's what the best way I can describe it. But I would just invite people to pray for him in his mission and what he's doing, and he's on fire, obviously, and just continue to pray for you. But I have a couple questions. Do you have anything that you wanted to kind of go through, or?
Remember those questions. I kind of want to talk about a couple more things. I want to talk about the sacrament of confession, and it's such a beautiful sacrament, and when we go to confession, we give all our sins to Jesus, and he wipes away all our sins. And it's a baptism. He wipes away all our sins, and we're completely free, and we walk away with nothing on our shoulders. It's completely, there's a weight lifted in confession, and I know some people say, why not go to a priest or something like that? But Jesus really did give us the gift of confession. He told, whatever your sins are
bind in heaven and loose on earth. And
yeah. So I'm just really grateful for confession, and I want to say with people, we in this day and age, people struggle a lot with addiction and pornography and all that, and honestly, I want to say, anybody who's struggling with addiction and all that, like, the mercy of Jesus covers all your sins. Like, honestly, I think the person Jesus loved, I know he loved John the most or whatever, but I think the person Jesus loved the most was the woman caught in adultery. When she came in and wiped Jesus' tears with their hair, that's it. Just that's who Jesus loves the most, and he loves us all equally, but like, there's something about that woman's heart who is so wounded, so broken, and she washed her tears with Jesus' feet. So I just want to say, like, if you are struggling with sin, take it to Jesus. And St. Paul says love covers a multitude of sins. And so right when you fall or anything like that, forgive yourself, go to a priest if you need to, and instantly try again and just love people through your action. That covers a multitude of sins, and that's a real grace. And another person that I love Mary Magdalene, because I experienced a lot of demons coming out of me, and so she's amazing. And she, it wasn't the guys that walked to the cross. It was Mary Magdalene that walked all the way to the cross, and so she's the apostle of the apostles. She never questioned. Actually, I really believe that. I believe she was all in. The apostles were like, who's the greatest? And she's like, Jesus, not you guys. She's like, I know who the greatest is, and I know what this is all about. And my life was changed. I was broken, and now I'm free. So she is the greatest apostle, and she is and obviously Mary is a beautiful apostle too, obviously. But yeah, Mary Magdalene, pray to her. She knows a lot.
That makes me kind of think of something else that I was talking to my spiritual director this morning, and we were talking about how, these things that you go through, the wounds, the horrible things that happen to you, your struggles in life, Mary Magdalene with all the different demons that she struggled with, and the things that she was involved with. Well, when you are set free of those things, then you can recognize how much you love Jesus because of what you've been saved and rescued from, and then those things, actually you become grateful for them because they're actually, that they made me the person that I am today. And so I when you hear that story, and then just as you said, Mary Magdalene, I thought, well, of course she loved him too, because she recognized the despair that she was in, and he set her free in such a way that was, I mean, he just, what he did was just a miracle, right? Of course, but so those things so I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're struggling with those things and you feel like there's no hope, there is such another side to the coin, that once you're rescued from that by surrendering to God and saying, I can't, can't conquer this thing, or I am just being defeated, or there's no hope for me. Once you give that to Jesus and he speaks to you like he did to Doug or Jonathan, there's just different ways that we've talked about. Then something incredible happens with your conversation with him and who he is for you, right? Then you actually start to have this relationship like you've mentioned before, where until you went to that pretty low spot with him, like you didn't really have a relationship. But after that, you got very vulnerable, and then now we started to have a real relationship. And so I think God is just waiting for all of us to recognize that we need to be saved. We need a savior.
Amen.
He's willing to do it. We just have to surrender
that
to him.
And one of my other favorite saints is King David, like, cause he had such a, when he was a shepherd, he had a really beautiful, just pure heart, writing psalms for God, singing and playing the harp and having the faith to knock down Goliath with a pebble, and then when he got older, he failed, and he did commit adultery. He did plan a murder, and that's awful. But he repented so much, and Psalm 51 is the most incredible. His apology, or whatever you would call it, is so beautiful, and he repented so beautifully, and his tears were real, and what I want to say about King David is that even when he fell, God said, David is a man after my own heart. And honestly, sometimes when I tell my story, I tell people, like, when I get to heaven, hopefully I do with a lot of help, I don't want to hear, I really don't want to, I don't need to hear good and well done, faithful servant. Because I actually don't think I do. Without God, I'm not good, and I don't do much good things, and I don't accomplish a lot of things, and so there is good in me, but I don't think I do good things that much, and I want God to, with my love for adoration and the Mass, I want, it would be amazing to hear, like, Doug, you were a man after my own heart. So, yeah, that's what I want to hear, and that's what I strive for. So, yeah,
it sounds like you are. You are pursuing his heart.
Yeah.
Have you had the opportunity to go into acting at all, or theater? I know that was, and music.
Yeah, no, it's been a real. It was. What's really cool, what was really a real beautiful gift and grace, after a couple years after being Catholic, I was 26 years old, and I just said, you know what? I've never really been to college, and I want to go to a Catholic college. I want to be around good community. So I'm really glad you brought this up, because these were some of my favorite, best years. I got to attend Benedictine College, and that's in Kansas, and and honestly, I was 26, and I was a little older. I was a kid in a candy store. I didn't care. I was like, I'm all in. I'm gonna be Doug, and I healed a lot with, and it was so cool. So I'm gonna get to the music part a little bit, but it was cool. I was in an elevator with my friend Javi, and he said, "Oh, there's an essay contest, and you could go to New York City and to see the Pope." And I told him no, like, I don't have much to say, and so I went, but I got a nudge. I went to adoration. I brought my notepad to adoration. I wrote my essay in 45 minutes. And the next day, I was told that Archbishop Nauman's going to fly you to New York City, and you're going to have mass with Pope Benedict at Yankee Stadium. And they put me up in Fifth Avenue. And honestly, it was one of those moments that, like, wow. You know, when I was in adoration and feeling really sad 3-4 years ago, God said, like, no, I love you. And I'm sorry, I have a plan for your life. And at that moment, I'm just like, yeah, that's a beautiful gift, Lord.
Wow.
Thank you, Jesus, for. And it was my pain and story that brought me like a resurrection, like brought me to be with Pope Benedict at Yankee Stadium. So that was really cool. And then I was in a really cool worship band for St. Paul's Outreach. I was the djembe player. And
what is a djembe?
Yeah, it's an African drum.
Oh.
It's not a bongo. I hate when people call it a bongo. Like, it's not a bongo. Like, it's a djembe. DJEMB.
Yeah, it starts with a D, so everybody's like, what did you do?
Yeah. So that was cool. And then honestly, these three, Phil and Gabe, they were my closest brothers in Christ in college. They said, hey, we want to start a band. We want to start our own band. I'm like, hey, yeah, let's do it. And then we went into one of their rooms in the house. We practiced for the first time. It was the worst. It was the worst thing I've ever heard. And I'm like, well, that was a nice idea. I mean, good try, guys. That was cool. I think that's it.
Let's not do it again.
I think we're like, no. And then all of a sudden, you know, of course, what happened was we got together for about 2 to 3 hours twice a week, so 6 hours a week. We just started practicing, and man, it was magical. It was, God really blessed us, and yeah, the first time, of course, is going to be not going to, because you don't gel right away, of course. You guys know that as musicians. But man, we prayed before practices, and we would talk about life, and then we would play our music, and we would pray that God would bless it. And it just turned out awesome. I was so proud of that band. And we were called Top Shelf because everything's better on the top shelf. So we were called Top Shelf, and man, for about 2 to 3 years, we did amazing shows at the campus, and we got to play at the Newman Center in Lincoln. We played in front of about 500 people. Wow. We were rocking.
Is it a Christian music? Is that what you're playing, or what?
You know, there was a little Christian element to his lyrics. It had a good message. There was one song called "Mornings" that did have Jesus in it. Okay. But no, we weren't. I wouldn't say we were Christian, but we acted like a Christian band. Actually, I'm glad you said that, because like actually the coolest thing about our band is that we are Catholic, but we're rock stars. Like we're not prudes here. We're gonna rock out, and we're gonna jam, and we're gonna be awesome. And honestly, when I'm done with that show, I picked up the throne. I would go about 5 or 6 feet back, and I would look at my drum set and go like this, and then I would throw my throne at the drum set and I was like, good night, Cleveland. We're out.
You were rock stars.
Yeah. And one of the monks would come up to me, and he's like, why do you do that? And I'm like, man, I'm sorry. No offense. I guess you're just not a rock star. You just don't get it, man. You're just not gonna get it. Yeah. So honestly, that's a huge witness to the culture, because we're supposed to be leaven to the culture. We're supposed to be not of the culture, but like in it. Mm-hmm. And honestly, because like so many people want to be famous in music, and or music is a big thing in our culture, and it was cool to say to trash the set and say, yeah, and I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
We have fun too, you know? Like we can.
It's funny. I was at a concert last night, and at the end they're throwing drumsticks out and a harmonica and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was fangirling. I'm like, oh, they're into me. I didn't get one.
Blues Traveler?
It was Blues Traveler.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Oh,
it
that's
was good.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Nice.
Well, Jonathan said something to me once. I remember because we talk about songs and the stuff we're writing, and we both played together. So he's heard my songs, but he, I think sometimes I struggle with trying to like make sure that I have a Catholic identity in my songs, and you're like, well, you don't have to. Like you're very good about like saying you can still be a Catholic, you can still be play music and be Catholic, but it doesn't have to be like you're writing a Catholic song necessarily. And I thought that was pretty profound when you said that, because you're always sometimes you're trying to make it fit, and it's not really,
And sometimes our vulnerability in our lyrics, if we don't bring up Catholic, it can be a seed. And because like just the fact that you are Catholic, you're already a witness. So like those lyrics that really speak to his heart, or he'll be like, who's this guy? What's he all about? What's
okay?
Like we like,
Well, it's even like when I, go to the grocery store and I'm kind to the cashier and call them by their name or ask their story. I don't say I'm Catholic. Like,
Yeah.
They don't need to know that. They want to meet Jesus, and hopefully they're encountering Jesus through me.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's what the Holdrens did to you when you're playing ping pong on a homemade set. They weren't preaching at you. They're just loving you.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
bringing Jesus to them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
There was a bishop, I think, that talked once, and he said he was speaking throughout the country, and I can't remember who it was, but he said that he went to a hotel, and he was checking in, and the person behind the desk said, "Oh, you're one of those guys," and he thought he meant because he had his clerics on or something, that he thought he was a bishop, and so he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a bishop with the Catholic Church," and he's like, "No, you're a believer," So he recognized immediately something in him that knew that he believed in Jesus.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if the guy behind the desk was
Yeah.
Christian or not, but that came across, even though he didn't have to say anything necessarily.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah. I want to. I want to talk about like engaging the culture. Like, yeah, I think there's a lot of people that really struggle, and we have a lot of isolation. I think technology is killing people with phones. I know it's necessary and it's good, but like if we're not spending time with people, what are we even doing here? What's the point? And I think if we're gonna engage the culture and bring the culture of life to the world, like John Paul II always said, bring the culture of life to the culture of death. As Catholics, we need to live differently, and I think obviously marriage is sacred and families are beautiful, but once you get married and have that family, like it's not just about just soccer games and getting straight A's and getting to college and meeting the right person and all about me. Those are good things, but if it's all about that, you're not completely living your faith. Like if you're a family that believes in Jesus, we need to be with other people. We need to go out and say, how you doing? We need to invite people to our house. We need to be a light to others, and we need to be a light to the broken people. That's why God gave us this gift of family, to be a light and hope for other people. It wasn't just about all our accomplishments. Mm-hmm. And I think if we were to do that and spend time together and really care for people the way Jesus tells us to love our neighbor, I think the world would be set on fire. But Catholics and Christians, we need to lead, and we need to kind of reflect on our life, what's really important.
Well, that's where this podcast even started from, was from our coffee group. And I mean, and you're on the thread, Doug, but we have this thread where we reach out and we ask each other to pray. A friend of my family took her life a couple of days ago, and I reached out to the group, and people are praying, and I thought, I'm so glad we're talking about mental health. But like that thread is always meant to come back to the group getting together as men. And Mike and I have a friend who's a woman who said she has the same need for that. Like they need community with each other to be vulnerable, to be intimate. And so the technology is good, but only insofar as it serves connection.
Yes. Yes.
And so we just need to make it a tool for connection.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. And, I think, like, unfortunately, there's been a lot of suicide, and there's a lot of isolation out there, and we got to be in person more than and less on our computers. I just think I feel like I think we're gonna have to let go somewhat of all the AI. Let's not go along with it all. Let's live simply. We're in a barn right now. We're out in the country. It's really beautiful out here, and God is really present in nature, and so I think that's really important. And I want to also, I want to bring up adoration again. Like, if you are struggling with loneliness and isolation and suicidal, like, God wants to just love you so much in adoration. He wants to give you peace and healing. He wants to heal your wounds. And like he does have a plan for your life, and he wants you to know that. And Christ is everywhere, but like I said, take 15 minutes in adoration, and it will change your life. And so
I think kind of going on that too, I think when you look back at when you were in the regional center and then they had you on suicide watch, I mean, if you can look back now and say, oh, look where I'm at now. Like, I think there's probably people that are either watching or they know people that are maybe in a similar situation where they're in a dark spot. But to know that, like, oh, my life is so good now. Like, I was able to get through those parts that were really, really hard. Yeah. And here's where I'm at now. Like, it, at the time it was probably a dark spot. Yeah. But you've found another community again, and now you're kind of doing some stuff. And I know you talked about you were going to reach out to the chosen, right? And you had an opportunity to potentially become an extra in there, and so like there is like there's a life after that. And so if you can surrender it to Jesus, right? Like, and I don't know the shoes that you're in particularly, but if you can surrender that to Jesus and start having that relationship with him and trust that he's going to bring you through it, there is this, like, now you're like however many years from that spot where you were in a dark spot and you're in a really good place. Yeah. Like that's, I think that's just important for people to hear that story and that
for sure
testimony.
Yeah. That hope.
Yeah. Have that hope.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think that good place doesn't mean like that you still don't have struggles. Like,
100%.
We do, and that's what Mike and I try and just be honest with the podcast. Like, our lives we have all the woundedness and the brokenness, and we still progress forward. You know, like you said, you don't have a job right now, you're in between, or
that's been hard. Yeah,
but like you're still moving forward, and so I think there's people out there who might be in that same situation, and like, and that can lead to depression and other things, but. Your point is, you're saying in the midst of that struggle, I still turn to Jesus. Yeah. I still go to adoration because I saw how he was faithful here, and I know he'll do it again. So I'm just going to be faithful to Jesus. I'll just keep going back to him. Yeah. That's a powerful witness to me.
For sure. For sure. And I think we need to talk about that. My story is really beautiful. And God showed up in a million ways and loved me and healed me. And but you know what? Like, Peter's a beautiful example. He's an example of this. Like, obviously we know the story. He said, he's like, Jesus, I will never leave you. I will die for you. And then obviously Peter denied him 3 times. We all know that story. It's very familiar, but it's that story's for everyone. Unfortunately, I think why we have daily mass. Here's the reason why we have daily mass. Because we are going to forget about Jesus. We are going to forget. We're going to get on our own head. We're going to do our own thing. We're going to flop. We're going to be miserable. And then we're like, oh, wait a second. There's this Jesus guy at the church that I need to surrender to again. And my life is extremely imperfect, and I have a lot of hopes and dreams that are very unfulfilled right now because of my struggles. And honestly, at this point in my life, I'm so grateful that God did. He knew I needed the Eucharist for my mental health, because I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, if it was just medication and that's it, I don't think I'd have the joy and the love of life, or I don't think I could have the capacity to care about others. Like, it was so cool at Benedictine, because like I was so raw and honest with people, and I'm like, oh man, this is where I was, but I'm so happy to be at Benedictine. There was people coming up to me and saying like, oh man, I really struggle with depression. Can we talk? I had a really beautiful sister friend that came up to me, and she's like, oh my gosh, Doug, my brother really struggles with bipolar, and like you just give me so much hope for my brother. And I was always talking to people about their sadness and about their, because they knew I had been through it, so they were ready to come to me and talk about their struggles. And I've kind of, I've been away from Benedictine for quite a while now, and I've kind of lost that a little bit. And I know every time I go back to Jesus and every time I share my story, I know it's not for me anymore. It's for other people. And I can't be silent. And it's God's will for my life to share the story with other people, because so many people need the hope of Jesus. And so yeah, I do want to, so that needs to come back. And honestly, I need to fall in love in God, in love with God again, actually. I need the conversion is every 10 minutes. Conversion is an hour. Conversion is every day. Like it's always getting back up, and obviously the saints, yeah, they weren't perfect. The only reason they were a saint was not because of their holiness, not because of what they did. It's because after they sinned, after they got back up and they said, I'm sorry. If they didn't do that, they wouldn't be saints. That's the only reason they're saints. It's because they knew the mercy of God. It wasn't because of anything else that they did or said.
They kept turning to her.
It's interesting. You say, like, your story isn't your own. And I reference even the scripture that you brought up with the woman caught in adultery, that, like, we hear that story, and although it was her story, unique to her life, like, look what we've each gleaned from it in our own. Like, it wasn't just for her. It was meant for all of us. And so is your story. It's meant for everybody. And by God's grace, you're here sharing it with millions of people. Well, Doug, it's been a blessing having you. I know we've got some time constraints, so but we do you want to grab the...
I will. I just wanted to say one more thing. So like I don't know if you can, I'm not sure if people at home watching can really sense this, but like he is on fire. I mean, like you can just, like, it's just as I hear you talk, I'm just like drawn into like what you're telling me in your story. And it made me think when you just were talking now about how you just have to tell your story. I think of the apostles that were imprisoned, you know. And
Yeah.
as soon as they got back out, they went right to the street again to start speaking. So like if your story was like, you know, they're like, Doug, you're giving people are getting hopeful. You're putting we're going to jail, but go leave this town. But you would go right back there and be like, throw your drumstick into the throne and start talking again. You know, I mean that's how like real this fire is that you have for God. It's just it's just not manufactured. This is real. Like I can feel it. So it's just amazing you had the time to kind of tell everybody about your story. So
yeah, well, I obviously thanks so much for doing this. And
you got him. Okay, yeah. I'm kind of lost. So if you've been following us, you might recognize that we're in it looks like a different location. We rotated. Would it be 45 degrees? I think we rotated 45. Yeah, we rotated. No, we did a 90. We did a 90 degree. Yeah, I'm not a math guy. We rotated 90 degrees, so we're facing have a little bit more of the barn in the background. We've got the wood burning stove, a couple of skins on the wall back here. But we thought we'd do this because it gives us a little more room. Anyway, so thank you for watching.
Yes, so we have a tradition here at the Barn Again podcast with farm fresh eggs, and so we're gonna have Doug pick. You're gonna pick an egg.
Have you seen this?
Nope. All right. On the bottom is a number, and then we're gonna pick a random question.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I don't think anybody ever come on and known like what this was.
No.
Holy moly! What do we got here? Number 4.
Okay.
Number 4.
That was last time. I feel like.
No, I think it was a 3.
Was it okay?
Was it? I
don't remember anyway.
There's been so many. All right. So here's your random question, Doug.
Yeah.
If you could eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Yeah, that'd be Chipotle. Yeah. So when I go to Chipotle, I get brown rice, no beans, half chicken, half steak, a little bit of hot sauce, queso, and cheese, and guac. And I've said that about 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So I got it memorized.
You know it.
So breakfast, lunch, dinner, tastiest thing ever.
Why not? Why not? Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well,
Awesome.
Doug, thank you so much for coming on.
And I just want to. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I want to end with this. Life is fragile. Life is hard, and anybody that doesn't know, we're not made for this earth. Our struggles will soon be over, and we're gonna be in a new world in heaven. We're gonna have new bodies. It's gonna be perfect love, perfect joy. No more pain, no more tears, and it will be forever, and your heart will be completely filled and loved, and it's forever, and it's real. And I want everyone to know that we're going to a really great place, and it's forever. So if you struggle with that, that's okay, but it's going to be incredible. So have hope in that.
Thank you, Doug. Well, yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm a little. Actually, Jake tells me that all the time. Could you? I'm in a quiet place. Could you be a little bit more quiet? Okay.
Anyway. What are we missing?
Anything else I need to know?
I don't know.
Okay.
It must just be the side of your face. It must just be the left side of your face. It's do people when they talk to you, they laugh?
Is it funny? The left side of my face?
Doug's laughing.
Is that more serious?
Listen, Doug, I wasn't really laughing, and then I turned.
You looked at my face.
I looked at your face. Sounds bad.
Yeah, it really does, Mike.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I think I'll be okay. This looks so beautiful. Why do we never think of not you, Doug? I mean, you are beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
I'm just kidding.
I think we're ready.
All right. Cool. You want to lead in prayer?
Oh, yeah, we can do that. Name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. And I don't know, is there a patron saint for this?
Saint Dibbit.
Oh, yeah,
If not,
Dibbinus or something. Yeah, Dibba. It's something with a D. So anyway, he knows who he is.
Yeah. Or she.
Yeah.
Son, Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Cool. Diffna. I think you're right. Yeah, Diffna.
It starts with a D. So
is it Dimphna? Or am I thinking of a different one?
There's a Y and an M.
Diplodoccus, or it's something different.
Diplodocus.
Yeah, there you go.
No, that's a dinosaur.
Shawshank Redemption. Chicago. Have you seen? Well, that's a little
Shish kebab.
Ace Ventura reference. Oh, I got it.
Oh yeah, and Mike sits awkwardly in between us, like I can't see you right now. But
Okay.
yeah, you know.
Okay.
But on camera, they'll think, "Hey, you can see him." when
Yeah,
you
we're
look
all
over.
together.
Yeah,
That's cool. I like it.
I'll
Okay.
slap Mike on.
Yeah,
Cool.
He looks right through my head, right through my ear hole,
Tiny
and he can
little
see you. Like I have nothing in there, so he just looks
Okay.
right through.
Cool.
Bottom right.
Oh,
we all on the
okay.
bottom.
Yeah, we're all on the bottom.
Okay.
Dylan does his popsicle, icicle, testing.
One test. One T.
That was
Forgot about that one. That's a good one. We'll have to use that one. We'll have to use that one if we're like ever in front of a big audience or something.
Thank you, Dylan.
Thanks,
For your
Dylan.
shallow, crass jokes. All right, let's start. I'll kick us off.
All right, awesome.